Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Tonight we pick up with part 2 of my recent interview with UK football coach Mark Stoops. He takes a lot of talk about what he does off the field and his life in Lexington. Take a look. All right, one of the things I wanted to do with this interview is get people to know a little bit more about the Mark Stoops I know, not just the football coach.
Yeah.
So tell people, when you are not in crazy football mode, what do you like to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like to fish. My boys and I have an 11-year-old and 7-year-old. So
where do you fish in Kentucky?
I got a couple little ponds here in town that I can't divulge that kind of information.
Okay, you're trying
that's
to keep
my little getaway,
Gotcha.
you know. But I certainly love to spend some time with my family, with my wife and 2 kids, and certainly my boys get cheated of a lot of time, you know, because you have to put an awful lot of work into this job, and you have to spend a lot of time. You got to be away from home.
Is that tough?
It is tough, yeah. It definitely is.
Do you ever feel like you're kind of missing some of that growth from your kids?
Without a doubt. There comes a lot of sacrifice. But I think, you know, you look around, and I'm not the only one, and coaches aren't the only ones. There's a lot of people that have to sacrifice a lot of things that build successful businesses or do other things. And I know I'm not alone. And, you know, you can't cry the blues there. You know what you're getting into. It's part of the job. But it definitely is one of the things that does hurt, you know. But I'd like to spend time with them when I can. And the one thing I like to do personally is I definitely like to golf a little bit.
Are you any good? I always hear that you golf, but I've never heard stories. Like if you were to play in a college football coaches tournament, where would we finish?
Oh, I think I'd like to think I'd have a good shot to finish pretty good. I play, sometimes we go down to the SEC head coaches meetings in Destin, and you know, I play with some of the head coaches down there, and they're pretty good as well. You know, I play with a few of the guys, and they're not bad. But I can't, you know, again, I can't go too far with that because the guys I go play with, they always think I pad my handicap a little bit.
I understand. So. Well, I've actually heard that about you before.
Now, is that right?
In your job, you've had to dismiss some players. You've had to let go of coaches, including at least one I know of that you were very close to. I know that's got to be difficult, but talk me through the decision of you got a player, you want to see them have success, but you say, you know what, it's just not going to work here or something. How does that eat at you? Do you stay in contact with them? Like, how does that work? It's
definitely very difficult, whether it be a player or a coach. You know, I think most people will tell you if they know within our organization that I am pleasant to be around every day. I don't like coming in every day, you know, beating the table and trying to, you know, work in an environment like that. You know, I think the first thing I talk about with our players and our coaches is an attitude. So when they walk in that building every day, I want them happy to be there and excited to go to work and energetic. And I think if you're constantly browbeating people, that's not going to happen. So that's not my style. And the same way with the players. You know, it's difficult. Sometimes my life would be a lot easier just to say, dismiss him, remove him from the team, and let's move on. That would be easy to do. But that's not the right thing to do. When I go recruit those people and sit in their living rooms and I tell their mother, their father, their grandma that I would treat them exactly like I would want my son to be treated, then how could you just turn your back on somebody that quickly? And again, sometimes that's the easy thing, but that's cutting bait sometimes. You know, it's our job to make these kids better in all areas of their life, and sometimes that's easier than others. So, you know, when I let somebody go, usually that's the last straw. And we've had plenty of conversations up to that point. And sometimes it's twofold, where they're not in with both feet as well. And if they're not in with both feet and, you know, they're making decisions that are not helping the team, then sometimes it's easy to move on and just ask them to leave the program. But, you know, I never, you know, it's really not ever comfortable. It's not a great feeling to have to let somebody go.
People who watch this show have seen we've interviewed a couple of your commitments, including the kid Cavassier Smoke, which has the best name of all time. You guys have had like an all-name team through the years. We also talked to Terry Wilson, and for the first time I think since you've been here, there's a real quarterback battle. I mean, I think even in years past, you kind of had a leader on all of them. Looks to me with Gunner and Terry and even some of the other guys that it's a lot more open. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, and I feel very good about it. I feel very good about Gunner. I think Gunner's looked very good. you remember all the way back to last spring, watching him last spring, he really looked good. Didn't get much opportunity to play this year, obviously, with the other two quarterbacks that we had this past season. But I'm excited about Gunnar and, of course, Terry coming in as well. Both of them are showing great leadership. That they've done a great job this offseason of getting guys out there, and guys respect them, and they're getting out throwing on their own and being leaders and doing some good things. So we'll be excited to get in the spring ball and to see where that goes. I think those two are definitely the front runners. But then again, you have Danny Clark, who's an unbelievable competitor, and of course Walker Woods coming back off injury. So we'll see where it goes. But I agree with you. It's an exciting time to be, watching those guys and to see where it goes.
Last thing, we have a lot of the folks watching here have seen us have Noah. Noah's one of my producers. He's right there. He doesn't watch sports, and so we're teaching him about sports through the course of it. We're going to get him into football this fall.
Okay.
So if you're pitching to Noah, or there are people watching this who aren't even necessarily football fans, to getting them on the UK football bandwagon, what's your case?
Well, it's the greatest team sport of all time. There's so many moving pieces that, it really, it takes some time to get educated and watch the game. But it's a great team sport. You got to have a lot of guys on the same page. But for us, I think it's really, the sky's the limit for us. I think it's a really exciting time for Kentucky football. As you know, we've been making strides. We've been improving every year. Everybody's been waiting and ready to blow the roof off. I think we've been very close in the past couple years with some big games, but we definitely have the best team coming back this year.
So you think this is the best one you've had?
Absolutely, as it should be. And I say that every year, but as we build, as you get better, as you get bigger and stronger and get more, recruits and get guys in the program, it should be better in each and every year. And there's no doubt in my mind that we're heading in the right direction. It's going to be an exciting year.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this, and good luck for the rest of the summer. And I'm going to find out where you're fishing, and then let everybody know so they can go get you.
You got it.